Welcome to the Closing the Door Suicide channel. If you are in urgent need of suicide prevention, urgent meaning you're not able to concentrate on watching a video, please call now. Don't delay. The suicide prevention line is 800-273-8255 in the United States, or you can text the word START, S-T-A-R-T, to 741-741. In Canada and nationwide across the United States, you can also dial 911. Hi there, I'm Barbara Hennessy. I'm a life enhancement coach certified in the brain sweep systems intervention. I'm also a nationally certified rehabilitation counselor. I'm here today to talk to you about those feelings we get of being hopeless or helpless or empty. We're not sure where they're coming from, but we're also not sure how to find our way out of that. And that's the purpose of the following video. You're going to watch a section from our CEO, and then I'll be back to take you through another part of the brain sweep process. So stay tuned and get started now. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Karen Savard. I am the originator of the brain sweep systems that are renowned for eliminating the symptoms of PTSD and other forms of trauma and hyperanxiety, and to do so without the use of medication. As a professional, I've been doing this work for my clients for around the globe for over 35 years. Today, I'm using the brain sweep system to help you to permanently close the door to suicide. Every human being needs to do this process, even if you do not believe that you do. The reason is simple. Every human being has learned to learn from experience. If you have ever heard or read of anyone dying from suicide, then your mind has learned that humans can get desperate enough to kill themselves. If you've ever seen an animal lose someone that the animal loves more than anything, to the point that the animal simply quits eating and quits drinking water and then quits sleeping until the animal finally dies, then you have definitely learned that love can lead to severe loss. The pain of that loss can end the will to live. If you watch the news on TV, then you've seen stories of people in so much emotional pain that they have killed their own family and then committed suicide. You need to understand that the minute your mind heard these stories, your mind immediately made suicide an option that can be chosen. Not even your religion can protect you if you are feeling dark enough to drown out the idea that you are loved by your God. Sadly, the silence surrounding suicide only adds on to the likelihood that a human will not reach out to others before it is too late. And saddest of all, for so many families and so many friends. It is a huge misperception and a total fallacy that only mentally ill people choose to commit suicide. There are good people who want to die. There are also good people who simply do not want to live with the pain of living anymore. Any human being can lose the will to keep trying to survive the pain of living. Please listen to this fact. When a human is suffering, the chemicals produced in the body can literally overwhelm the mind's capacity to make the right choice. That is precisely why every human being needs to choose to care enough for you and for your loved ones to take the precaution of closing the door to suicide. If you are suffering right now or feeling numb or already enraged enough to be seeing this video because you are already wanting to use suicide to end your pain, then I'm asking you to please listen. I'm asking you to please try. Please try to stay alive long enough to finish this video. Understand this. You have a right as a human being to have this chance to get you free of the chemistry that has led you to feeling desperate enough to simply want to be done with trying. You deserve this opportunity. You deserve the opportunity to know how you will feel after you try to do the brain sweep technique. Know this, the brain sweep technique will immediately help you to reduce the negative chemicals that are negatively affecting your thinking. Brain sweep uses neurokinesis to intensify the positive effect of working with the brain instead of the mind. Brain sweep teaches you to apply a simplistic form of neurokinesis to effectively train your brain how to direct your body to immediately respond rather than react. Responding produces the chemicals that always reduce the brain to body demand to produce the chemical change that prompt reactive states of self-isolation and other negative forms of survivalism. Simply put, what this really says, neurokinesis does for the brain what acupressure can do for the body. That is why brain sweep will enable you to eliminate the feeling of needing or wanting to harm you or punish you. Please try to understand this. This is not a criticism of you. Negative reactive states can produce serious chemical change that can lead anyone's mind to mistakenly thinking that suicide is the only answer that makes sense. Thinking that way does not mean that you are mentally ill. It does mean that you're experiencing a harmful reactive state. In a minute, you and I will do a simple brain sweep technique that will immediately reduce all of the painful thoughts and pain-filled feelings that are making you feel anxious or depressed or worse. Brain sweep uses a simple pattern of touch that prompts all of the organs in your body to respond together instead of reacting. Brain sweep will use your own touch to trigger your neurons to produce a response that will eliminate the reaction that causes anxiety states. With practice, meaning with the consistent use of the brain sweep system, your brain, can be taught by you how to use the brain sweep response technique to gain the immediate access to profound insight that permanently relieves any and all forms of the self-deception or the misperception that leads to suicide. Let's begin. Today, you will learn 3 things to do the second that you feel any form of negative stress. Step 1. Now I'm going to teach you a tool that you can choose to use whenever you feel bad, whenever you are sad and or anxious. It even helps with depression and rage. And please understand, and please listen to this proven fact. The more often that you choose to use this technique in your daily life, the more your brain learns to use the technique to produce the chemicals that instantly and naturally enable humans to feel much better much sooner. You will instantly be much more in control of your emotions and your feelings. Let's begin now, please. Now, you can sit down or you can stand up. You can even do this technique lying down, but you can't keep driving or doing anything like that. Now, just find a focal point on the wall or surface in front of you. Imagine a single dot and focus on the dot, real or imagined. And then stare at the center of the dot. Now, hold that stare And without turning your head, move your eyes only to the right. And hold. Then move your eyes back to the center. Focus again on the center of the dot and hold. Now, without turning your head, turn your eyes only to the left and hold. Then back to the center. Now, simply lower your eyes if you want to relax more. And simply think of a time when you were really enjoying yourself. Now, it can be any time, anywhere, any age. Whether you were younger or when you were older, it does not matter. Just pick a time, a memory of when you were laughing, really feeling good while you were laughing. When you're having such a good time, either you, yourself, were alone or with others, but having a good time. Or simply imagine a time like that as if you were acting in a movie. Imagine, pretend, or remember laughing very hard from deep inside you and having so much fun getting everyone around you to laugh as well. Now feel that time in your body. Let the laughter come forward now. Just laugh as if it's happening right here, right now. Remember, you're laughing so hard that tears are streaming down your face. Think again about how you couldn't even look at your friends without laughing harder. Now, think about trying to tell someone else why you're laughing so hard. Why you're laughing so hard. But you can only laugh harder as your voice squeaks and your nose snorts from the laughter coming through every cell of your body. Good. It feels so good just to let go and truly laugh so hard. You can even let go and let more tears stream down your face as you simply let go and let yourself truly laugh out loud without holding anything back. Hear the sound in your mind. Feel the movement in your body. Feel how good it feels. You simply feel free to have a moment, your moment, where nothing else matters except for feeling this happy, this good, this complete. Please notice how this moment has changed how you're feeling. Now you can even increase the thrill of laughing to the point where no sound can manage to come out. Feel it magnified times 10 because you're laughing so hard deep inside. Feel the release. You can laugh out loud. Feel the release and the relief. And take a deep breath and continue smiling with each and every muscle in your face. And recalling how good it feels to feel free enough to actually laugh. Now you know with a certainty that you can use this process that's called the laughing technique anytime and every time that you feel depressed or down, anytime that you feel sad or enraged, anytime you're numb and empty, feeling too alone, too isolated. Anytime that you do not care enough about you or other people, you now know, you know how to bring yourself back to a better place, simply using the laughter technique. The laughter technique can always work for you and your brain. If sometimes your mind is in the way and you find it hard laughing or even think about wanting to laugh, go ahead and actually pretend to laugh because the brain responds to it. And within seconds, sometimes minutes most, You'll feel the smile start and you'll feel the laughter start. That's all it takes is get it started and the chemistry that you need to feel good starts being produced. Please make a commitment to you to use this laughing technique every single day, 2 or 3 times a day, or as often as you need to. You can't do it too long or too often, especially in the beginning if you've been feeling really sad and depressed, or if you don't feel well, or you feel enraged or angry and you just can't seem to keep going. Use it every few minutes. Just keep it going. You can even go on YouTube and places like that and get pictures and watch pictures that are funny and collect them and jokes and those type of things. Anything that will make you laugh or even smile. On the really tough days, you can even use the laughing technique every single hour of every single day until you no longer feel any form of depression or sadness or rage or sorrow ever again. Make a commitment to you to do this. Commit to your commitment right here, right now, please. Say to yourself, I will smile and use the laughing technique the second I need to. I will never allow myself to start getting depressed and let it keep on getting depressed or start feeling rage and let my rage grow. From now on, I'm stepping up and I'm going to immediately start using the laughing technique. And I can go online, I can find Brain Suite website, I can get the help I need to laugh. Okay? Now keep that commitment to you. Keep the good feeling because now we're going to do step number 2 together. You are ready to learn step number 2 next. I'm going to begin by reading something to you. And now I'm simply asking that you sit back and relax as much as you can in this moment and simply close down your eyes and listen. Listen to every single word I use to help you help yourself. I'm speaking to the brain. Please allow yourself to listen and hear how you can finally, truly end all of your deepest pain. I'm asking you to imagine or dream of a safe room that you built for yourself. A room just for you where you are perfectly safe. A place that you are happy to have as your room, as a room to return to whenever you want to and whenever you need to. Please just picture yourself in your room, in your mind. Create that picture. Feel safe there, comfortable, listening, and relaxing. Please listen to each and every word from inside of your deepest parts of you. I know there are times when your life seems so hard that it feels like the only way out of the struggle is to die. Sometimes when everything goes wrong, it can feel like it is just too hard, way too hard to do another minute. And you no longer want to live. You may even feel that way in a part of you right now. That's okay. That part of you that goes to that thought, the pain-filled thought about wanting to die, about wanting to end your pain by dying, by simply quitting breathing, by not living. In your moment of sorrow and grief, disappointment or shame or exhaustion, you may begin by opening a door to the idea of dying. And you open you up to dreaming, daydreaming or night dreaming or both. Dreaming a little bit about that possibility of it being over, of it being done, finished, and gone. Sadly, when you feel this empty, you can open the door to the idea of dying. Those are the times when you can't figure out your next step. Those are the moments that feel overwhelming. Yet those are also the moments when you have absolutely nothing left to draw on. Maybe in this helpless emptiness, you may feel that opening that door to suicide all of the way will end your suffering and end the pain. For a moment, suicide can feel like a simple way out of disappointing others that depend on you and care about you. Sometimes, sadly, suicide can seem like a perfect solution. Those are the moments when you are trapped in the old ways of looking at life as if there is no other choice left to you but to die. Suicide can even seem like it is the only way that you can end your pain and your disappointment, and you do so forever. Or you may believe in reincarnation, and you may think you can just end it and start over. But you must realize right here and right now that ending your life that way is not your destiny. That's not the answer for you, or you would not be here right now, right here, listening and seeing exactly what you need to understand. You need to understand that what you need is here. And yes, what you need is here for you to use right here and right now and always will be. The help you sought is here. You know that I'm speaking the truth, don't you? I can tell that you do. I want you to know that you don't have to figure it all out right now. I just want you to also know and understand there's another way, another choice. And you can take this time now to open your mind to the freedom of another possibility. Go inside, deep inside you, and think of a time when you felt very alive, when you felt loving and joy. That moment was all there is. You didn't care in that moment about what other people thought. You were just at peace, enjoying, feeling, loving, just feeling like you're here and it's worth being here. There's a memory you have held on to just to use in this moment. I'm asking you to do it. Think of a time when you are beyond happy. Doesn't mean it happened often, and it may be a long time ago. It's just that somewhere you felt happy. And if you need to, for this very moment, for you to remind you of how being alive and loving feels, you can imagine something that you've seen on TV or in a movie or read about in a book, and you really wished you had it for you. And in this moment, I'm going to suggest to you strongly that you pretend to have it, be in it, feel it, so you know what it feels like, and make that your promise to you. The goal that you set for you is that this is going to become your reality. Like I said, if you think you have no memory of you ever feeling this way, it's not a problem. Again, I'm going to say, just imagine like it was or is on a TV show, a movie, or a memory of someone else you watched that felt so happy to be alive that you could see it all over them. And you wanted the same feeling, the same thoughts, the same way of being alive that they have. You can imagine what it feels like to be that happy. And it will instantly feel like it is how you feel right here, right now. Just imagine it. Make it happen inside your body, inside your mind. Make it happen. Use your brain to do it. Good. Now feel it in every cell of your body. Enjoy this moment. Feel how good it feels to feel this free and this real and this alive. And know now it is real. The help you needed is here. It's in you for you. This is your aha moment. This is the moment when you finally feel free of all of the pain that came from thinking that you had no control over how badly you felt just a few minutes ago. You've already changed that. You now know the truth. Your brain is your strength that is always available to you to use as your tool to help you in any given moment. Your brain just needs to learn what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. And that's what we're here for. Brain Sweep can help your brain to learn what to do to save you from the pain of living. You can now allow this to be the new choice you go to whenever you're not sure of your next step. Remember that you can remember that. You don't have to figure it all out in this moment or any other moment. Instead of exhausting you, learn to help you all day, every day. Just go to this place and bring the strength forward for you to help you. The strength to choose to use your imagination, your memories to help you instead of scare you. Right now, please instantly do it again so your brain learns how quickly you can do it and how quickly it will help you. Remember laughing and start relaxing in your body now. Good. Now focus on how good it feels to laugh. And feel how safe you feel to understand this is all you have to do when you're starting to feel bad or lose your idea that life is worth anything or that you're worth anything. You simply have to use your mind to figure out a memory, or you use your brain to make one up and imagine it so that in that moment you produce the chemicals that will help you. You will now be ready to listen and ready to grow. You will be ready to receive everything you need going forward with our person who is stepping up to help you to learn how to help yourself. That person's going to be here next after me, right here, right now. It is time now for you to understand, for you to know for certain. It is time to close the door. It's time to close the windows. It is time to close up and seal every tiny crack, every crevice, every peephole, everywhere in your safe room that possibly ever included the idea of condoning or accepting or allowing suicide as an answer. End it here. For you, for your loved ones, end it now. Begin you by saying, never again will I ever forget what I have learned today about what I have, my power, the insight to do what is right for me, right now and always. You know that you can use the laughing technique to lift you up enough to get you to accept the help you need. You'll need to just learn to not wait, not postpone it, any of it. You just do it as soon as you're feeling bad and do it for you, from you, whenever you need it. So never again will you ever need or want to hurt you or harm you or hurt the people who love you and care about you. Even when your negative chemicals can make you doubt it, you know this is the true truth. Never again is there a legitimate reason for you to choose to harm you or hurt you, or worse, to choose to hurt the people who love you. Now, you've learned that there is a way to instantly feel better and stronger I would like you to take a moment and see and feel each of the people who would have a really hard time surviving losing you. Think of them. See their faces in your mind. Remember them, love them, and care. I'm asking you to care enough to care about these people and know that you have made the right choice, which is to close the door to suicide forever. Never again will you allow negative chemistry to fool you into believing suicide is an answer. Even the threat today, right here, right now, feel you closing the door to suicide forever and always. For you and for everyone who cares about you. Lock it and seal it closed forever and always. Feel how good that feels to know you're finally safe, that you got help and more help is on the way. I want you to open your eyes, awaken, refreshed and relieved, and knowing that you are finally safe. And now you can accept the help you need and deserve for going forward. Step 3 is what you get to learn to use to help you forever. Get ready to meet someone who is ready to help you receive exactly what you need for you for every day going forward. And thank you for listening.
Hi there, it's Barbara Hennessy again. Welcome back. I'm going to show you the part 3 of the brain sweep systems, the next stage. From this day forward, you're going to be able to relieve all of your negative stress in a healthy and beneficial way. In step 3, you're going to learn a simple method to activate your brain to end all of your mental and emotional struggles in minutes. Today, together, we're going to get done the death of the problem instead of the death of you. Any form of resisting, freezing, or seeking punishment will end today, end here today, right here and right now. Think of your day. Remember when and how you get stressed out, especially the stress that leads you to bad choices, especially the stress that leads to you numbing you with alcohol, drugs, or worse. When people think of trauma, they often associate it with a specific event or a process like a first responder, a firefighter, or a policeman, or somebody in the military who's experienced combat. But trauma and stress can come from all kinds of interactions in our life. Maybe you're feeling lost and confused. You're not sure of what direction to go in with your life. You can't seem to settle on a career. You've had some kind of experience that's kind of derailed you. Maybe you've lost something. Maybe you've lost your sense of purpose, your sense of self, your sense of meaning in life. And that can come from any and all kinds of transitions. Maybe you've moved recently. That can be a challenge and a trauma. Maybe you've been in an accident and things aren't quite what they used to be. Or perhaps you're just struggling with what to do next from this point forward. So you can have those feelings of grief, of anger, of depression, of fear, of anxiety from all kinds of experiences. Maybe you've lost someone or something, or perhaps you've lost a beloved pet. All of that can lead you to feeling this helpless and hopeless emptiness that we're going to work on here today, right now. So think of that type of stress that causes you to be mean to you or your loved ones, especially the kind that causes you to feel rage and frustration that leads you to risk harming you and others. Plus that stress that leads you to wanting to run away from anyone and everyone. So please watch me and learn the science of neurokinesis. Neurokinesis can be used anytime and anywhere on your body, but works the fastest and quickest when you use it to stimulate your brain to act on your body. So I'm going to teach you 2 parts, and Oh, for your information, the more you practice this simple technique, the more efficient you will get at focusing enough attention to make the technique make you feel relieved immediately. And I'm going to teach you two parts. The first part is simply a hand motion where one hand is rubbing across the top of the other. We always start with the right hand over the left, and then we'll do the left hand over the right. And then I'm going to show you how to clean out thoughts and feelings in different sections of your brain by moving the hand over that specific section of the brain. But first, we're going to show you the hand technique. And it's very important that your hands are, the fingers of your hands are in direct contact, and the thumb is tucked. The thumb tends to kind of want to stick up or out, but it's very important to contain the energy and contain the benefit of what you're doing with this particular hand shape. The hand is also cupped, and it's cupped enough so that if you stuck a tissue or a Kleenex under there, it's going to stay. If it's too flat, that tissue isn't going to, you can't keep it up there. So you want it cupped, you want it hollow under both hands so that you can put uncomfortable emotions, uncomfortable memories, uncomfortable events that are occurring in there. And as you move one hand over the other, you're going to release the power of that experience or emotion. So hands, fingers tight together, hollow under each hand. You're going to start with the right hand over the left, and your left hand is facing you. The thumb side is facing you. The little finger side is away. And you're going to start the movement between the wrist and the knuckles of the left hand. And you're going to stroke across the knuckles of the left hand when you go away from you and when you come back toward you. So the first movement is away. Remember, the fingers and the thumb are tucked. And it's really important when you come across here that the heel of the hand is coming across the little finger side of the hand and the fingers, because you're stimulating acupressure points and nerve endings by doing this. And then you come back across your knuckles towards you. I'm going to swivel a little so you can see what's going on. So the hand motion, the contact is consistent. There's no spaces or gaps under here, and the motion is smooth. There's not a whole lot of pressure on the top of the hand from the right hand pressing on top of the left. It's just a stroking motion to stimulate those nerve endings and acupressure points. The rotation, the number of rotations, no more than 8 is best. Between 4 and 8 is fine. Strive not to do any less than 4 because you won't get much of a benefit from it. And then after we do the right hand over the left, we're going to do the left hand over the right. Same thing, fingers are touching, thumb is tucked, hollow under in the palm of each hand. The right hand is facing you now with the thumb side, and the little finger of the right hand is away. And you start that motion between the wrist and the knuckles, and you come across again. The heel of the hand is touching this side of the hand and the little finger, stimulating those points, and then it's coming back towards you between the fingertips and the knuckles, and you're running the edge of your hand across the knuckles of the bottom hand. So left hand coming across, stimulating the side of the hand and the little finger, and then back over the knuckles towards you. And you want to try when you are starting the motion, you do want to rub across the thumb with the side of your hand like so. All right, I'm just going to repeat it again on both sides for you, because you are looking in a mirror when you're watching a video and it can be a little bit confusing. So right hand again, make sure you can see what I'm doing, coming across the side, stimulating the thumb with the little finger side of the right hand, and then you're coming across the left. Heel of the right hand comes over the side of the hand and the little finger on the left hand, and then back towards you. So I'm going to do a 4 count. 3, 4. Great. And now the left hand over the right. Again, you start by rubbing across the side of the thumb with the little finger side of the left hand, side of the right thumb. Going away from you, heel of the left hand comes across the side of the right hand and the little finger of the right hand, and then the left hand comes back towards you. And again, a 4 count. In this motion, and I'm holding my hands up because I want to make sure you see me, you can do this motion with your hands in your lap or sitting in a chair. And that should be 4 motions. Remember, between 4 and 8 is good. You just really don't want to do a whole lot more than 8. You don't get a whole lot more benefit after 8. So that's why we tell you to do that. This technique can be used when it's uncomfortable or difficult to do the brain sweep technique with the hand over the sections of the brain, which is, oh, check the thumb, chuck it. So when you can't do that, you can use the hand technique, and you can use it when you're out and about, anytime, anywhere, like we said. So if something's happening at that point in time that's making you uncomfortable or angry or upset, or if something's being triggered by a smell, a sight, a sound, and you want to take it down right away, you can use the hand technique. But we do want you to use the next technique that I'm going to show you, is the brain sweep hand technique under the hand on each part of the brain. And the parts of the brain that we're going to work on is the frontal lobe, the right hemisphere, the left hemisphere, and the crown down the spine. So the crown area is that part of your skull. You can take your hands and touch it. When you rotate your hands over it, when you use the hand technique over the brain, you're not touching the brain like you are the hands. You're just hovering over that part. And the crown is that area in the skull where all those bones fuse together. You ever been around babies, especially newborns? They have a very soft area in that part of the skull, and that's the area of the crown that we want you to focus shifting the energy on, because we're creating a vortex with the movement and we're clearing out the brain. So we should always start right hand first. We're going to do right hand and the left hand, and we're going to go around all 4 parts of the brain when we do that. It's very important that you keep the thumb tucked in and that the directionality of the motion is followed. And remember, it's a mirror when you look at me. So I'm going to be reminding you by directions. We start with the right temple. We start with the frontal lobe, and we move from the right temple up to along the hairline to the left temple, across the bridge in the nose, and back to the right temple. And it's a small rotation with the hand over that area, a 4 count. And then the hemisphere, the heel of the hand is by the ear, and fingers are forward and up, and then you sweep it back toward the spine, and then back to the front of the right hemisphere. And same with the left hemisphere, and don't worry, I'm going to remind you. And then the crown. And the crown, when you're up there, you do front, left hemisphere, back of brain, right hemisphere with the right hand. So we'll repeat all of that when we start putting some thoughts and feelings in the hollow of the hand and clearing out the sections of the brain. So we're going to start with the frontal lobe, and I want you to clear out thoughts of harming yourself, thoughts of hurting yourself, thoughts of shame, thoughts of blaming yourself. Remember, right, top, left, across. Right hemisphere, the movement, heel of the hands at the ear or the jawline, and you go from the front to the back of the head with the hand motion. So clear out any thoughts of harming yourself, any thoughts of hurting yourself, any thoughts of shame, any thoughts of blaming yourself. Right hand to the left hemisphere, clearing out any thoughts of harming yourself, any thoughts of hurting yourself, any thoughts of shame, any thoughts of blaming yourself. And the movements toward the front of the skull, the back toward the spine, and then back toward the left temple. Crown, and remember the movements front, left, back, right, front, left, back, right is the motion. Clearing out any thoughts of harming yourself. It's a small rotation. Any thoughts of hurting yourself, any thoughts of shame, any thoughts of blaming yourself. And then send that energy down the spine and out the tailbone. Now left hand, same 4 statements, starting with the frontal lobe, movements right to left, across, and back to the right. 4 small rotations, keep the thumb tucked. So clear out any thoughts of harming yourself, any thoughts of hurting yourself, any thoughts of shame, any thoughts of blaming yourself. Right hemisphere, movements from the front of the brain toward the spine and back toward the temple. Heel is by the ear or jawline. Clear out any thoughts of harming yourself, any thoughts of hurting yourself, any thoughts of shame, any thoughts of blaming yourself. Now we move to the left hemisphere, same motion, front to back, small rotation. Clear out any thoughts of harming yourself, any thoughts of hurting yourself, any thoughts of shame, any thoughts of blaming yourself. And now we go up to the crown with the left hand. This time it's front, right, back, left. And remember, it's a mirror, so I'm backwards to you. Clear out any thoughts of harming yourself, any thoughts of hurting yourself, any thoughts of shame, any thoughts of blaming yourself, and send it down the spine and out the tailbone after the last rotation at the crown. Back to the right hand again. Frontal lobe, movements right to left and across, small rotation right over that section of the brain, creating the vortex to clear your brain out. Any thoughts of negating your worth and value to others, clear it out. Any thoughts of being scared, release. Any thoughts of being frightened, any thoughts of disgracing you or your loved ones. Now the right hemisphere with the right hand, any thoughts of negating your worth and value to others, clear out any thoughts of being scared, release any thoughts of being frightened, and clear out any thoughts of disgracing you or your loved ones. Right hand to the left hemisphere, we're clearing out any thoughts of negating your worth and value to others, any thoughts of being scared, any thoughts of being frightened, any thoughts of disgracing you or your loved ones. And now we're up to the crown with the right hand, so we move front, left, back, right. Any thoughts of negating your worth and value to others, clear it out. Release any thoughts of being scared, any thoughts of being frightened. Clear out any thoughts of disgracing you or your loved ones. And now, left hand. Start with the frontal lobe. Say movement right to left. Any thoughts of negating your worth and value to others, release it. Any thoughts of being scared, any thoughts of being frightened, any thoughts of disgracing you or your loved ones, clear it out. And now we go to the right hemisphere with the left hand, and the movements toward the front, then back to the front. Any thoughts of negating your worth and value to others, clear it out. Clear out any thoughts of being scared, any thoughts of being frightened, any thoughts of disgracing you or your loved ones. Now left hand to left hemisphere, movements front to back, back towards the front again. Small rotations. Release any thoughts of negating your worth and value to others, any thoughts of being scared, any thoughts of being frightened, any thoughts of disgracing you or your loved ones. You're clearing all those out from this part of the brain. Left hand to the crown, so we move front, right, back, left. Clear out any thoughts of negating your worth and value to others, any thoughts of being scared, any thoughts of being frightened, any thoughts of disgracing you or your loved ones, and release all that down the spine and out the tailbone. Clear all that energy out. I recommend that you drink water. We're actually releasing a lot of toxins from the brain and clearing things out. So hydrating is very important. Clears out, it's going to flush out a lot of things for you after this. We're going back to the right hand, frontal lobe. Now we're going to release any form of self-punishment, any form of justification of self-punishment. Small rotation, thumb tucked. Release any and all forms of self-condemnation or isolation. Release any and all forms of deception, addiction, or isolation, or defiance. Any and all forms of deception, addiction, or defiance. Now with the right hand to the right hemisphere, release any form of self-punishment, any form of justification of self-punishment, any and all forms of self-condemnation or isolation, any and all forms of deception, addiction, or defiance. Right hand to the left hemisphere, movement is front to back. Release any form of self-punishment, any form of justification of self-punishment, any and all forms of self-condemnation or isolation, any and all forms of deception, addiction, or defiance. Right hand to the crown, movement is front, left, back, right. And then it's a small motion. Release any form of self-punishment, any form of justification of self-punishment. Release any and all forms of self-condemnation or isolation. Release any and all forms of deception, addiction, or defiance, releasing all the energy down the spine and out the tailbone. Left hand, frontal lobe, movement is right to left. Release any form of self-punishment, any form of justification of self-punishment, any and all forms of self-condemnation or isolation, any and all forms of deception, addiction, or defiance. Left hand to the right hemisphere, movements front to back, heel starts by the ear or the jaw. Release any form of self-punishment, release any form of justification of self-punishment, any and all forms of self-condemnation or isolation, any and all forms of deception, addiction, or defiance. Clear it out from the right hemisphere. Now we're going to clear it from the left hemisphere. Any form of self-punishment, any form of justification of self-punishment, any and all forms of self-condemnation or isolation, any and all forms of deception, addiction, or defiance. Now we move to the crown of the head. With the left hand, we're going front, right, back, left. Release any form of self-punishment, any form of justification of self-punishment, any and all forms of self-condemnation or isolation, any and all forms of deception, addiction, or defiance. And then release it down the spine and out the tailbone. Now we go back to the right hand, and this particular statement is incredibly important. So we repeat the one statement, both hands, all four hemispheres of the brain. Release any and all forms of delaying your immediate success. 4 small rotations, thumb is tucked, right hemisphere. Release any and all forms of delaying your immediate success. 4 small rotations there. Right hand goes to the left hemisphere. Release any and all forms of delaying your immediate success. And the crown, front left, back right is the motion. Release any and all forms of delaying your immediate success. And when you reach the 4th rotation, release it down the spine and out the tailbone. Left hand, frontal lobe, thumb is tucked, small motion right to left, releasing any and all forms of delaying your immediate success. Right hemisphere, 4 small rotations front to back, release any and all forms of delaying your immediate success. Left hemisphere with the left hand, front to back motion, heel of hands by the ear or the jawbone. Release any and all forms of delaying your immediate success. 4 small rotations up to the crown. This time the movement is front, right, back, left. Release any and all forms of delaying your immediate success. 3, 4, and then release that energy down the spine and out the tailbone at the end of the 4th rotation over the crown. Now we're going to release frontal lobe, right hand. Any and all forms of resistance to learning to replace punishment with positive discipline. And know this, from this moment forward, any form of failing is no longer an option. Ending any silent or secret contract with the self that includes punishment. Ending any contract that contains any sense of an obligation to lose something or someone that means everything to you. Right hand to right hemisphere. Any and all forms of resistance to learning to replace punishment with positive discipline. And know this, from this moment forward, any form of failing is no longer an option. Ending any silent or secret contract with the self that includes punishment. Ending any contract that contains any sense of an obligation to lose something or someone that means everything to you. Right hand to left hemisphere, release any and all forms of resistance to learning to replace punishment with positive discipline. And know this, from this moment forward, failure is no longer an option. Ending any silent or secret contract with the self that includes punishment. Ending any contract that contains any sense of an obligation to lose something or someone that means everything to you. Up to the crown. Movement with the right hand is front, left, back, right. Release any and all forms of resistance to learning to replace punishment with positive discipline. And know this, from this moment forward, any form of failing is no longer an option. Ending any silent or secret contract with the self that includes punishment. Ending any contract that contains any sense of an obligation to lose something or someone that means everything to you, and release it down the spine and out the tailbone at the end of the last rotation over the spine. Now the left hand, frontal lobe, release any and all forms of resistance to learning to replace punishment with positive discipline. And know this, from this moment forward, any form of failing is no longer an option. Ending any silent or secret contract with the self that includes punishment. Ending any contract that contains any sense of obligation to lose something or someone that means everything to you. Left hand to the right hemisphere. Any and all forms of resistance to learning to replace punishment with positive discipline. And know this, from this moment forward, any form of failing is no longer an option. Ending any silent or secret contract with the self that includes punishment. Ending any contract that contains any sense of an obligation to lose something or someone that means everything to you. Now the left hand goes to the left hemisphere. Release any and all forms of resistance to learning to replace punishment with positive discipline. And know this, from this moment forward, any form of failing is no longer an option. Ending any silent or secret contract with the self that includes punishment. Ending any contract that contains any sense of an obligation to lose something or someone that means everything to you. And now up to the crown with the left hand, and the movement is front, right, back, left. So front, right, back, left with the motion. Small motion over the crown. Any and all forms of resistance to learning to replace punishment with positive discipline. And know this, from this moment forward, any form of failing is no longer an option. Ending any silent or secret contract with the self that includes punishment. Ending any contract that contains any sense of an obligation to lose something or someone that means everything to you, and release it down the spine and out the tailbone. Back to the right hand. Now we have a new contract. Frontal lobe, thumbs tucked, small motion. New contract with the self for right here, right now, and moving forward. The new contract is you will prove to yourself and every single person that cares about you that you start your day knowing enough about you to discipline you without punishing you. To listen and learn to listen to what you are doing right for the right reasons and do your day that way. So when you lay your head down at night, you can use your sleep to keep you healthy and well for your sake and for those that love and care about you now, always, and forever. Right hand to the right hemisphere. New contract with the self for right here, right now, and moving forward. The new contract is you will prove to yourself and every single person that cares about you that you start your day knowing enough about you to discipline you without harming you. To listen and learn to listen to what you are doing right for the right reasons and do your day that way. So when you lay your head down at night, you can use your sleep to keep you healthy and well for your sake and those that love and care about you now, always, and forever. Right hand to the left hemisphere. New contract with the self for right here, right now, and moving forward. The new contract is you will prove to yourself and every single person that cares about you that you start your day knowing enough about you to discipline you without harming you. To listen and learn to listen to what you are doing right for the right reasons and do your day that way. So when you lay your head down at night, you can use your sleep to keep you healthy and well for your sake and those that love and care about you now, always, and forever. Right hand on the crown. Movement is front, left, back, right. New contract with the self for right here, right now, and going forward. The new contract is you will prove to yourself and every single person that cares about you that you start your day knowing enough about you to discipline you without harming you. To front, left, back, right, to listen and learn to listen to what you are doing right for the right reasons and do your day that way. So when you lay your head down at night, you can use your sleep to keep you healthy and well for your sake and for those that love and care about you now, always, and forever. Send that energy down the spine and out the tailbone. Left hand, frontal lobe, thumb is tucked. Right to left motion, new contract with the self for right here, right now, and moving forward. The new contract is you will prove to yourself and every single person that cares about you that you start your day knowing enough about you to discipline you without harming you. To listen and learn to listen to what you are doing right for the right reasons and do your day that way. So when you lay your head down at night, you can use your sleep to keep you healthy and well for your sake and those that love and care about you now, always, and forever. Right hemisphere, movement is front to back and heel of hand is by the ear or the jawbone. New contract with the self for right here, right now, and moving forward. The new contract is you will prove to yourself and every single person that cares about you that you start your day knowing enough about you to discipline you without harming you. To listen and learn to listen to what you are doing right for the right reasons and do your day that way. So when you lay your head down at night, you can use your sleep to keep you healthy and well for your sake and those that love and care about you now, always, and forever. Left hand on the left hemisphere. New contract with the self for right here, right now, and moving forward. The new contract is you will prove to yourself that you and every single person that cares about you, that you start your day knowing enough about you to discipline you without harming you. To listen and learn to listen to what you are doing right for the right reasons and do your day that way. So when you lay your head down at night, You can use your sleep to keep you healthy and well for your sake and those that love and care about you, now, always, and forever. Hand at the crown, the movement is front, right, back, left. New contract with the self for right here, right now, and moving forward. The new contract is you will prove to yourself and every single person that cares about you that you start your day knowing enough about you to discipline you without harming you, to listen and learn to listen to what you're doing for the right reasons, and do your day that way. So when you lay your head down at night, you can use your sleep to keep you healthy and well for your sake and those that love and care about you, now, always, and forever. Thank you for listening and participating. I have a team of trained professionals who can help you going forward from this moment on. There's other supports available, a 24/7 online radio show that you can access, online classes, weekly support groups. My name is Barbara Hennessy. My email is barb@thejoywithin.us. My website is www.thejoywithin.us. I'm Barbara Hennessy. Thank you again for listening and participating. Let the healing begin with the joy within.